Alhamdulillah, they all arrived safely. It was confirmed Egypt is going to have an airport lockdown just before our ceremony on the 20th.
One day.
We didn't even had a proper goodbye. Yeah, it was a sad day for me.
Ta-da! New Year's haircut.
Assalamualaikum. Welcome to my channel, Menk Mahawangsa
And wife. Today's video is about our wedding during the peak of the pandemic in Egypt. To those who haven't subscribed yet,
you can press the subscribe button now and comment, share and like our video.
we got engaged in August 2019.
Yeah, and we planned for the wedding in March 2020.
Little did we know that it will be in the peak of the pandemic. I live in Italy. I had to go back from Italy to Egypt late December to settle everything like the venue, the dress, the documents, because I'm marrying a foreigner.
And I was working in Europe. I had to go back to Malaysia to settle my documents in January and February. So we kind of planned out to meet early March. Our wedding was planned on the 20th of March.
Yeah. As you know, the pandemic started in China 2019, but it started to really peak in late February.
Yeah, and it was reaching up to 30,000 cases per day in Italy. I wasn't worried that much, and we didn't expect that we'll go higher, or we were just hoping for the best at that time. So I went to Egypt first on the 4th of March, and I'm supposed to meet her in a few days, and she was still in Italy.
First negative or bad sign was me going to the airport of Venice, which is usually packed with people, and it was only me and 10 other people, and the hostess was warning me that they might not let me in Egypt.
So I was in Egypt first. I settled my documents with the Malaysian embassy, and then I met up with Reem, my soon-to-be wife. A skill of drinking without holding bottle.
And then we started to settle all the documents because a lot of people were asking us about this foreigner Malaysian Egyptian wedding. That time also I have family who lives in Italy. They were supposed to come. We had friends that were coming from Spain,
Switzerland,
Malaysia,
and of course my family from Malaysia.
Yeah, they were coming from all over the world. We were getting worried and scared, but we went through the civil marriage anyway, and we finished all our documents.
Yeah, we did our documents mostly in Cairo, and then we went back to Alexandria where Reem lives, and we decided to get a civil marriage there.
Yeah. It was the 10th of March.
It was supposed to be the 10th of March.
It was supposed to be the
But Egypt's bureaucracy.
We went, Menk, me, Baba, my uncle, and some friends, and we went there, and everything is settled. I'm dressed up, he's dressed up.
Yeah, we dressed up.
Okay, and guess what? The person in charge of the act didn't come this day.
Yeah, in Egypt, you have to kind of line up, so we went early morning, but the person wasn't there to do for us.
Yeah, Madame Dua didn't come today.
And
as simple as that.
There's no backup.
Only one person who does all this procedure, and she didn't come, and everyone, there were many people actually.
Everyone who wanted to get the akad on that day is not gonna get it that day. Alhamdulillah, on the 11th of March, we got civilly marriage. When we say civilly marriage, it's not not Islamic way or what. We still have the akad and all that.
It was a lot of signing and a lot of...
Yeah, we only do this akad, shaking hands on one corner. Alhamdulillah, we got married. Yeah, and that's it. That's the end of my life.
Thank you.
Okay, your hand.
But in Egypt, I still cannot live with her yet because in their traditions that they have to have a ceremony. It's a symbolic, it's like the father passing the daughter to the husband. So yeah, we cannot live together until we have the ceremony, which will be in 10 days time.
Yeah, it's like an announcement.
So we went back to Cairo in preparation. We had a beautiful place booked, Al-Azhar Park.
Al-Azhar Park, and it's green, and then you can see the citadel. It's very nice.
Yeah, just perfect dream wedding. And during this moment, we all know that every day there's cases and more news comes.
First bad news was that my family in Italy won't be able to come, my sister, husband and her kids, and it was like I burst in crying and it was really bad.
Yeah, this was the first airport lockdown in Italy. And more bad news came from Europe, which my closest friend in Spain, Albert and Martina, and their little daughter Nadia, everything started to become a lockdown there. I also had two other friends that were supposed to come. Andy from Switzerland, the airport lockdown there, and one of my friend from Malaysia.
A shout out to him.
Shazwan, thank you for the effort. He was supposed to go to Egypt and transit in Moldova, but he got stuck in Moldova for like 2-3 weeks. So yeah, I had 19 people from Malaysia of my family coming to Egypt. My parents, my siblings, my nephews and nieces, my aunties and uncles, and even my cousin.
We were very worried about them taking this journey in this pandemic.
Yeah, because half of them is above 60 years old. 5 days before the wedding, Alhamdulillah, they all arrived safely.
It was a very happy moment. Like seeing them coming in the bus, all of them. It was like
we kind of greet them when they come. And then Reem went back to Alexandria to do some of her girly stuff. Yeah, whatever. The first tour for my family was the Egyptian-Malaysian, where they see all the mummies, and everyone was so happy and excited because it's a new world for them.
First bad thing happened again.
My dad was tired and he got really sick. He started throwing up, and when he threw up, he kind of alerted the guards of the Egyptian-Malaysian, and they wanted him to go to the hospital because they thought it was the corona or something. So we went to the hospital by the ambulance. And yeah, I took care of my dad, Alhamdulillah. Maybe because he had arranged this trip from the beginning until they reached to Cairo, so lack of sleeping, and he have to manage about 20 people. So later during that day, I received rumors that Egypt was gonna have a lockdown, airport lockdown, which would be happening on the 19th. But the wedding is on the 20th.
That was the second bad news we received this day.
But nothing was confirmed yet. What were you doing?
I was in the spa.
Yeah, she was in the spa. After my family finished the tour, they all were jet-lagged and they all went to bed, and I don't think any of them received any news about lockdowns or whatever. And it was confirmed that night, on the day they arrived, that Egypt is gonna have an airport lockdown just before our ceremony on the 20th.
One day.
Yeah, when I received the news, I was really shocked. My heart was really divided because I wanted them to come to our wedding, and at the same time, it's for their safety. Yeah, if they get locked down in Egypt,
they're gonna be locked for God knows how many months.
Yeah, and you don't want to get locked down in Egypt. We don't know how we can manage.
It would have been hard.
And that night, I consulted with my eldest brother on what to do, and of course, the best advice he could give as a doctor is go back as soon as you can. So on the next morning, they all were happy, excited because they went on a tour to the pyramids. On the afternoon, during the time when they went to the pyramids, the agent said that they have tickets for 19 people. Take it or leave it. If you leave it, you might not get it at all because everyone was going back to Malaysia. And of course, I was really torn, you know. I want them to be safe, at the same time I want them to be here, but I couldn't be selfish about it. Safety first, and we get all the tickets. I had to go on the bus with them straight to the airport, and they had to rush inside the airport. We didn't even had a proper goodbye. Yeah, it was a sad day for me. Her family didn't even get to meet my family.
Exactly, because my family were still in Alexandria and the family, Menk's family, were having a tour. They were supposed to meet them the day after in Alexandria. We all
Yeah, it was really sad.
It was extremely sad. I still get emotional when I think about it, to be honest.
Yeah,
Come
and then
on,
I can
I'm
put.
I'm really going to cry seriously.
I kind of wanted to cancel the wedding because yeah, I mean it would be a sad wedding, you know, like seeing half of the seats empty where it should be my family, you know. We had a day of sadness.
Yeah, I had a day of crying at home.
So yeah, we decided to cancel our wedding ceremony in the best place in Cairo for your dream wedding.
We still had our tuxedo, dress, a photographer, makeup artist, things like that, but we didn't have the venue and the people.
We still have to have a ceremony in a way because else we will not be living with each other.
Yeah.
It's not complete yet, our marriage. Yeah, we decided just to do it in Alexandria.
A smaller scale. Started the search of a place that can take 20 people, like tomorrow. Alhamdulillah, we found a place, the 20th, and we got married. He wore his tux, I wore my dress.
And we had our photographer as might as well. We had fun on that day.
We had fun on the photo shoot.
Yeah, it was a bittersweet wedding because I don't know how to say it. It was both, yeah. We're happy that we got married. Alhamdulillah, I'm so happy right now. And at the same time, it was sad because all this happening during this COVID-19 pandemic.
I didn't have my wedding. I didn't have my venue. I didn't have my honeymoon.
Yeah, we were planning to go to Tanzania. Can you imagine that? Anyways, even though we didn't have our honeymoon, but we had our honeymoon in a lockdown situation for 2 or 3 months at home. We just got married and we were like
locked in an apartment
together for 3 months, like every day, 24/7. But in a way, it was a good lesson, good of learning each other.
Actually, yes, it was like a blessing in disguise. Huh?
Yeah, I think
Wallahi,
so.
it was.
Yeah, in a way. After 4 months and a half, we finally got out from Egypt, and yeah, we moved to Italy. That's where we are right now.
Okay, I want to take a moment and thank all Menk's family, people who came and left without anything.
And all to our friends that planned to come but could not make it.
I really wish that we can make it up to them. Alright guys, that's all for today.
About our wedding during the pandemic times in Egypt.
Yeah, I pray that your 2021 is so much better, inshallah, and that you are all stay safe and sound. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet.
Yeah, I need all you subscribers to subscribe and spread and comment, share and like. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum.